Hello. So, this is quite a big topic, and I was thinking for quite some time, actually for a very, very long time, how to go about this. Um, as this is something I'm very passionate about, or rather or not, I'm passionate about talking about this issue that I feel there is with the manga slash anime Boruto, the next generation of Naruto. So, like I said, this is a topic that has been burning under my nails, and I was thinking for quite some time how to go about this because this is kind of a big thing I want to go about, and if I just start rambling and don't know what to say, this might just blow up the length of the video, and this might make it unappealing to watch it. That's not what we want, right? So what am I talking about? So, first off, why is it so important to me to talk about Boruto and the issues I have with this manga slash anime? And it is important for the sake of this video and for my argument to make clear that there are some specific issues with the manga and some with the anime, but more to that later. So, first off, Naruto is immensely important to me. It is not the manga that is my all-time favorite manga. It is not the manga that if I were to read it now in my current state, in my current age, um, that I would say that's the best manga out there. It's not even the one that made me think the most critically about myself, the world, and what not. But I would say Naruto is one of, if not the best shonen manga, classic shonen, battle shonen, up to this date. And I'd argue it's better than One Piece in some aspects. And I make lots of content about One Piece. That's my primary um, topic, my primary manga that I make videos about. So yeah, I think it's even better than One Piece. I think it's better than pretty much all of the new generation shonen, like Boku no Hero Academia, even Black Clover, which I like a lot. I love it. I think it's even better than the old school manga like Dragon Ball, and yeah, I think it's even better than Bleach in many ways. So I think Naruto is really, really good, and I'm talking about Naruto, not Boruto. And when I was a kid, I grew up in the 90s, and I got kind of into Naruto when I was in late elementary school. And I will talk a little bit more about my personal love for Naruto and how I think it could have even been an even better story, an even better manga than already is. It is not a flawless masterpiece, but nevertheless, I think the best shonen manga out there. Um, but I don't want to go about its flaws. I think it is an overall very, very, very good manga, a very good story that I'd still recommend today to anyone and everyone of all age. But specifically, I think it's a great story um, for growing up kids, especially boys. I think it's a really good story. So Naruto had a runtime. I would have to look it up now, but for the sake of the video, I think about 20 years. So pretty long runtime. And Naruto finished. I don't remember when the manga finished, but I think like 7 or 8 years ago, and it was always running parallel to One Piece for most of its time, and it is for a reason. considered part of the big three. So for those who are wondering, the big three, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, those are considered the big three because they were the power horses pulling the sleigh called Shonen Jump. They were pretty much generating most of the revenue. They were attracting so many readers to get Shonen Jump, weekly Shonen Jump, the magazine, weekly. And also abroad, not just in Japan, but all around the world. These were immensely popular series. But I think at that time, back then, when those three series were still in the mid of their run, I think Naruto stood out the most. Again, back then, my favorite show, the one that I followed for a long time of my life growing up, that I was reading week by week, that I was following most intensely. I've also been following One Piece, but there have been periods in my life where my interest had been broken slightly, where I neglected and didn't read One Piece for a month or 2 months. I did buy the manga, but I didn't feel this hard pressure to always follow the manga and read the weekly chapters, the news chapters, week by week. So for me, I just wanted to get this out from the beginning. For me, Naruto was really important. And when Naruto finished, and again, I'm not gonna talk much about the story of Naruto. That's not content for this video. But when Naruto finished and all the nitty-gritty problems and ups and downs with the ninja war at the end and Kaguya and all of that aside, my opinion is that the ending of Naruto was a very satisfying. It was a good ending and it rounded up the story and finished the loop with the whole rivalry between Naruto and Sasuke. It finished it up in a really good, emotional, and meaningful way. And I was sad, but I was happy. I was happy about the ending. I think it was a good ending. Of course, Kishimoto himself introduced the next generation. That's not something I feel he was pushed to. I think he wanted to give an outlook for what the generation would be after Naruto became the Hokage. So he introduced in the last chapter all these new generation characters. Kishimoto, Masashi Kishimoto, the mangaka, the author himself, introduced all these characters. Most importantly, of course, uh, Boruto and Sarada and Mitsuki. And I think it left room for fans to speculate what insane abilities this next generation might have. And of course, with enough demand, with enough people asking and crying out for continue, there's a market. And Shonen Jump would not leave this market untouched, untapped. So Boruto was created, and I think the movie Boruto the movie was pretty good. I really enjoyed the movie, and I thought it was like after a definitive ending, I think they managed to pull off a continuation that was not taking away from the base story. And the movie in no way let Sasuke and Naruto look bad. They looked badass, but not bad. No way. They looked amazing. And for those of you who haven't watched the movie, look it's an amazing movie. I think the action is well choreographed. Naruto and Sasuke pull out almost all of their abilities. I think, all of their abilities, and in a masterful way, um, to beat the antagonist of the movie, Momoshiki, who is also in Utsutsuki, same like Kaguya. And I didn't bother the introduction of Utsutsuki. I saw that was like a very late story introduction, but again, I think that didn't take away from the story. I think the introduction of the Utsutsuki as precursors of the ones who brought chakra and the foundation of ninjutsu, the powers in the Naruto world, to humans, who are also the actual secret antagonist, godly beings. Um, I thought that didn't take away from this ninja world setting that Naruto is. But Boruto, Boruto the manga and the anime, um, they wanted to go another route and also introduce ninja tech, a shift in philosophy, how the world works and looks. Um, and here's something important to know. Kishimoto kind of resigned. Kishimoto stepped back. That's that's something that is often not swept under the carpet, but it's an aspect that's neglected by the fandom, I think. Kishimoto, the original author, stepped back for Boruto. He stepped back to be just a supervisor originally, and the job was split up to his assistants, who also worked on the Naruto manga previously. So I think it was in trustworthy hands. And the job was actually split primarily between two of Kishimoto's assistants. One who would take the um, writing, Ukyo, and I think Ukyo Kodachi, and another one who would do the art. And when the manga started, the manga, here we step into my what's the issue. I'm gonna bring the first point to build up what's the big issue with Boruto. When the manga started, it first readapted the movie, and the manga was on a monthly, or originally even on a bi-monthly, I forgot, schedule, but either way, opposed to Naruto originally being a weekly released, mostly weekly. Sometimes Shonen Jump takes a break, or mangaka gets sick or take a break for a week, 2 or 3 or months, but that's the exception. Naruto was a weekly, for the most part, weekly released manga, chapter by chapter, about um, 20 20 chapters, 12 to 20 chapters. Um, that's what most shonen stories inside Weekly Shonen Jump um, present with each weekly released chapter. So, Boruto adapting the manga in a monthly, or I forgot, bi-monthly rhythm. It took 6 to 7 chapters, I forgot to look it up, to cover the story that was already told in the movie. And that means it took the manga over half a year to cover a story that was already, that most people who are fans were already familiar with. And yes, the manga tried to put some things a little bit different. There were some artistic, but also some storytelling differences in the manga, mostly with how the fight versus Momoshiki went on later toward the end of what was covered from the movie, with the final ending of Momoshiki having or his spirit being in a conversation with Boruto in a time frozen moment that it seemed only Sasuke was able to observe through his special eye, the Rinnegan. So, aside from that, the story didn't diverge much. It was pretty much one to one, the movie. That was the first step, and I think that was the first reason for a huge fall off in popularity, why a lot of people jumped off. Another thing, without a doubt, was the art style itself. It was no longer Kishimoto, and I think the new artist tried his own style, but fans were criticizing that Sasuke looked like Snape from Harry Potter. Sasuke in the original Naruto manga and anime had more like a spiky, black spiky hair. And yes, growing up, the adult Sasuke has long hair, but still more in the fashion of, not as long, but in the fashion of Madara Uchiha. Madara. But the Sasuke represented in Boruto, the manga, at least in the beginning of the first chapters, he had more like a wavy hairstyle, and lots of characters didn't look good. It looked just so unfamiliar, and it seemed like the manga was a vastly inferior version of the movie. It was in no way, in no aspect was it better than the movie. Usually an adaptation should add something or should add value where it makes you as the fan, as the reader, the viewer, the follower of the content, interested and hyped to engage with the content, right? That did not happen. So, and then the anime started. And the anime did something completely different. The anime started